And welcome back everybody to Let's Play Sonic Origins Plus. In the last episode, we went through the entirety of Sonic Chaos for the Sega Game Gear. Not just the entirety of it once, but the entirety of it twice, because we played both Sonic and Tails run-throughs of the game. This game's short enough I could do that. So in today's episode, on the next game on our list to do, is not a platformer. We're going straight into a racing game. This is Sonic Drift. This title was originally released only in Japan, and is the first in a long line of racing games for the Blue Hedgehog. Play as either Sonic, Tails, Amy, or Dr. Eggman, each with their own unique abilities and vehicles. So, yeah, this is a racing game. I never actually got to play this game until we got this game, or got this compilation. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Alright, so now we are playing through a racing game on the Sega Game Gear. This is Sonic Drift. It's kind of a little, like, fun racing game. It's also, I don't think this game released anywhere else in Japan before, like, other modern, like, compilations came by and I came by. But this game is real simple. It has a kind of like a cup mode where you can play against CPU characters, and it has three different levels. It has green, yellow, and red. Red obviously being the hardest. We're playing through every single cup. I guess that's the best way I could do it. I think of it as like Mario Kart with cups and everything. And we're playing on like 50cc, 100cc, 150cc, but it's really not that way. Yes, you'll understand why. This game is really not too bad. This first race, I was still trying to shake off the rust since the last time I played this game. I did a recording session of this earlier, but how this game plays is it's kind of like it has your map's on the top portion of the screen, and you are driving on the bottom. You have to keep a look on the map in order to know when the turns are coming, in order to keep Sonic or whoever you're racing as from careening off the side and kind of like slowing down a little bit. You can do so by drifting, which if you want to know how to drift, you have to kind of like go with the turn a little bit. But if you want to drift effectively in this game, you have to not only hold the acceleration button, but you have to hold the brake button around curves in order to drift properly. But you don't want to hold it on too long because then you'll spin out. But other than that, this game is really easy. Once you know the drift mechanic and how it works, it becomes cakewalk. And as you can see, the stages are kind of set up as from the stages of Sonic 1. Yeah, well, first was Green Hill Zone, now we're in Marble Zone. And yeah, as you can tell what the other stages are going to be, they're basically the same stages from Sonic 1. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You just have to know the drift mechanic, and once you know the drift mechanic, this game is really super simple. There's only 4 playable characters you can play as. You can play as Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Eggman. And that's pretty much what each car has its own specialty. Like Sonic is good at acceleration and speed, but around corners he does not do very well. He doesn't turn very well. And like Tails, he's pretty much a good cornering character. He can go around corners really easily, but he has the lowest max speed. Eggman has poor acceleration but very high speed. And Amy has good acceleration but low max speed. So that's pretty much the stat distribution of that. The cups themselves, the green, yellow, and red Chaos GP cups, they don't really affect the difficulty of the CPUs that much. As you see, as we'll go through Blaze, we're playing through the green Chaos GP, if you couldn't tell right now. There's 6 races in a GP that you have to do, and it's really not too hard. But like as you continue onwards, you'll notice that the CPU doesn't really increase in difficulty. What increases in difficulty is the stage design, because each stage design is different. based on what GP you're doing, so just keep that in mind. One thing I will say, like, you'll be seeing some of these, like, monitors that I've been picking up. The blue ones give you invincibility, which gives you, like, max speed and invincibility across all for a little bit. The red ones give you a burst of speed. The springs obviously make your car jump in the air for quite a while. But there's also rings to pick up, and each character has its own special ability, kind of like Mario Kart in a way. If you collect 2 rings, and you push up on the D-pad, that character can use a special ability. Sonic's, in this case, is he just gets basically a free red monitor. He gets a burst of speed. Tails gets a free jump with a spring, and Eggman uses like a mine. If you use 2 rings on the map itself, or if you get 2 rings with Eggman, he drops like a mine on the field, and players can crash into it and lose their rings. Obviously, if you get hit or you hit an obstacle, you'll lose your rings. If you spin out, you lose your rings. So just keep in mind that. Amy, if she gets 2 rings and uses her ability, she has something called a heart attack, which she, like, summons a heart and causes the other players to kind of slow down a little bit. So that's pretty much that. It's not too complex like Mario Kart. It's just a simple game. And as you can see, we're kind of blazing through this. It will continue being this way because for the longest time, I was worried about recording this because I didn't understand the drift mechanic at all. I didn't understand what I was doing wrong, and then I realized, oh, I'm supposed to hold the brake around the corner too. And that made a world of difference. Oh my gosh. I pretty much smoke every single CPU now. This game is really kind of cakewalk after you figure out how to do this. Because if you drift around the corners and keep on the track the whole time, you go faster. Who would have guessed? But yeah, we're in Starlight Zone. Yeah, there's all 6 stages from Sonic 1 are maps of this are racetracks on this game, which I think is kind of cool. But yeah, you don't want it when you're doing a drift around the corner. You'll see how Sonic like turns and he continues going like a certain way. Like, you want to make sure that you're not drifting too much, otherwise you'll spin out and lose rings. So just keep that in mind when you go around that. But yeah, every race you are rewarded with, I think, 3 points if you win. If you're in second place, you get 2. Third place gets 1. Yeah, that's how the stat distribution. It's kind of like a cup in Mario Kart. So just keep that in mind. And when you finish all the 6 races in the cup, you automatically get a placing and everything else. We're in Scrap Rain Zone. Scrap Rain Racetrack, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, there's a lot of twists and turns in this one. Yeah, the only difficulty in higher difficulties is just the layout of the map. That's it. There's a lot more twists and turns, and you have to go around corners a little bit too much in harder difficulties. This game is not easy. This game is not hard once you figure out things. It just took me a little bit to figure out how to do the drift mechanic. I really should have realized, because I think it works the same way in Mario Kart when you're playing 200cc. Now, granted, I still suck at doing 200cc in Mario Kart 8, but I think you're supposed to use your brake around the corners in order to effectively run in 200cc, and I still have to work on that. But yeah, we completely decimated the competition. We completely beat every single one of them in this cup. Yeah, once you win the cup, it'll, max is 18 points. And it says, congrats, you are number 1. And it just has a flagpole placement. And it says, see you next GP. Okay, that doesn't seem like very much. But what it's trying to do is it's trying to get you to play the harder difficulties. which we're going to do. Like I said, we're going to be playing through the green, the yellow, and the red difficulties all together, because that's pretty much it in this game. There's really nothing else besides that, besides free run, which we'll go over later. But yeah, we're going to go straight into the yellow Chaos GP. I kind of like to show these off here. And I kind of figured it'd be different if I at least show at least every character off at some point. So instead of playing as Sonic, we're going to be playing as Tails this time, kind of showing him off a little bit. And as you can see, Green Hill is a little bit different than the green GP race. So it's like, it's different layout. The map is a lot different. So that's the main difference of the GP Cups. I don't think that the AI has changed at all, because as you see, I'm kind of still smoking them. And it gets really bad later because I almost lap someone. And I'm not really good at racing games. I suck at Mario Kart. I suck at, like, other racing games. I'm not very good at racing games. They're kind of like my weakness when it comes to certain things. I hate doing races in video games. I'm not good at them. I don't know how to strategize and stuff like that to try to overtake someone. But yeah, Sonic passed me there, but that's okay. We could just drift, get this red monitor, get a burst of speed, and continue making our distance go up. And drift around the corners. But yeah, like, each character, like I said before, has its own special ability if you push up on the D-pad. I don't think I really do this because I forget to. Usually I'm in first place, already smoking them. Why would I put an item on the ground? I guess I could just trap them, but like, it's hard. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Sonic Drift is really easy other than that. Now we're in here in Marble Zone, going around corners. As you can see, the layout is a little different. And I'm gonna be honest too, once you get invincibility like I am right now, it's pretty much GG's, because you're like automatically hit with max speed and you're invincible to all the obstacles on the racetrack. You might as well just hang it up at that point. Look how far ahead I am on the map. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Yeah, I got another invincibility and going around corners, going as fast as I can, almost getting to the point where I almost lap Eggman. Eggman's in last place. Each race is 3 laps, if you couldn't tell by now. Yeah, you just do 3 laps around the track. You'll be done in like a minute. Like I said, this is I wouldn't say this is going to be the shortest long play out of the whole batch of Game Gear games, but it definitely is up there with the shortest, because there's really not too much to this game other than, you know, doing races. Spring Yard Zone, this one's a little bit of a doozy when it comes to the track design. As you can see, it has a little dip right there on the left side there when you start or go around the corner there. It's like it kind of fools you, and you accidentally go to turn left, and you end up turning right by accident because you're used to that turn a little bit. It doesn't look like that big of a turn either. Around the corner, trying to avoid all the obstacles. That's one thing about trying to make sure you're drifting on the track itself, because oh boy, trying to drive back on the track is dangerous, because there's so many obstacles on the side of the track so you can hit by accident. See, like this, and you lose rings whenever you do that, which is bad because that makes it so you can't really do your attacks and special attacks and whatnot. But yeah, we got through Spring Yard Zone. Easy. And now we're into Labyrinth Zone in the yellow. This layout is a little bit weird. As you can see, there's a giant, like, U in the middle of the track. So you have to kind of do a little bit of a twisty and turnies a little bit there. I mean, like I said, the only difference with these tracks is just the turns and some of the obstacles on the side of the track. It's really it. The backgrounds are neat to look at, and this is kind of like it built off of like games like I think Ridge Racer was like this and everything else, and kind of has, you know, a giant like track that's in the middle, and it's kind of like taking a look. I don't know what this effect is called, but like where the track is just coming. You're on the track. You're not moving, but the track is moving. If that makes any sense. Like your character's like moving left and right, sure, but like the track itself is moving. I don't know what kind of effect that is, but I think Ridge Racer had something. Like I said, Ridge Racer is kind of like the way I can think of with this game. I think Ridge Racer is like that. I think that's the right game. I haven't played it, so I can't really say if I'm right or not. Yeah, as you can see, sometimes I hold the brake button a little bit too much when I'm going around corners, and my character will spin out. That's not a good thing. You lose a ring whenever you spin out, so yeah. I mean, granted, I think the only thing that rings are used for is to pretty much use your specials, which, I mean, sometimes it's good. Yeah, I don't think, like, it's not like how in Mario Kart where with coins. I know I'm comparing this game to Mario Kart, and it's not Mario Kart. It doesn't play anything like Mario Kart does. But, you know, it's like, coins in that game, as useless as some of them are, having a bunch of coins in Mario Kart can help you because it helps with your acceleration a little bit, if I remember correctly. And in this game, it's just like, oh, the rings just allow you to use your powers, which, I mean, I don't feel like the tracks are long enough and the race is long enough to even really worry about it. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. You can bump into, like, a weird effect with this game if you are behind people, for instance, probably Sonic, I don't know if Sonic passed me here, but if Sonic can, like, run right through me and make no contact with me whatsoever. Like, if my CPU opponent is right behind me, he'll just drive right through me to pass me. Whereas I have to physically go around them, otherwise I bump into them. That doesn't... You can tell this is a product of the time. It's like, that's not right. They shouldn't be able to do that, but no, they do. Anyways, we're on Scrap Brain racetrack. This one has a lot of twisty turnies, as you can definitely see at the very end here. And it's so crazy. Like, I think was it this race that I go so fast. Like I was like so astonished by how much speed I was going on this track, because it was like the track itself with all the stripe effects. Like, that's one thing that really bothers my eyes lately is, you know, seeing old games flash like this. Even though it's not really flashing, the track is making some sort of strobing effect whenever you're going really fast on these tracks, and sometimes it hurts my eyes a little bit. And I'm hoping it's not gonna hurt your guys' eyes too much. If it does, I'm sorry. I guess I'll put some sort of description, put something in the description saying, hey, if you have a hard time, you know, with your eyesight and everything, please don't really watch this video. Because I guess the strobing effect of the racetrack is really, I don't know, man. After a while, you just kind of get lost in its like repeating strobing effect. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. It's like being hypnotized. You know, whenever you have like the illusion with the spinning black and white circle and everything else, it's kind of like that. Anyways, we beat yellow GP. Like green GP, you just get a ranking on the flagpole. It just says, see you next GP. It's telling you go to the red one. The red one is the hardest one. Yeah, we're gonna go into the red Chaos GP now. This one is probably the one you want to play. The red GP is the hardest difficulty of the tracks. We're gonna play as Amy in this one. I'm gonna save Eggman for later. But yeah, this one's a little bit hard. Look at Green Hill. It looks a lot harder in this one. The red GP is is a lot harder because the track layout is a lot different. And it doesn't mean that the AI is smarter, because it's not. It really isn't. As you can see, like, I'm on the like hard difficulty, and I'm kind of smoking these guys already. But yeah, you want to play the red GP Cup, the red Chaos GP Cup, because that one actually has an ending to the game, depending on what character you're playing. So it's very important, if you want to go see all the endings of all the characters, you want to play the red GP Cup, because that's the one that matters. The yellow, green and yellow, that's just warm up. The red one's the one that matters the most. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm like really far ahead of everybody. This is the hardest difficulty course. Like I said, I don't think the AI is any different in any of the modes, so I wouldn't worry too much. I love Amy's animation at the bottom there. I never even commented on the music. The victory jingle in this is pretty... I love this victory jingle. It's cute and it's adorable. And just seeing the little characters on the cars going across the screen with the checkered flag is cute. I like that. Marble Zone is a lot more slanted, but for whatever reason, Marble Zone gives you 2 red monitors right at the beginning, so you get free speed boost for whatever reason. The computer players cannot use any of the items. Only you can. Only you can use the items. How fair is that? Not very fair at all. The AI is probably gonna be like, dude, you're cheating. That's that heart attack I was talking about that Amy has. She can launch heart at characters and slow them down. But as you can see, I'm almost lapped Eggman at this point. I'm catching up to Eggman in last place here. So, yeah, or I'm sorry, the heart, you don't shoot it at anybody, you drop it on the ground like a mine. That's right, I forgot about that. You drop it on the ground like a mine. And if a character runs into it, then they slow down. But we beat Marble Zone. And now we're going into Spring Yard Zone. Like I said, there's really not too much about this game. I had to do some research for this game to kind of know what I'm talking about in some ways. So, like, I was, like, talking about how the characters have different, you know, stats on their cars and everything else, and what special powers they have and everything else. That's pretty cool. Spring Yard's kind of... I would honestly say that the Yellow Cup's track is a lot harder than the red track, because the yellow GP had that weird lip at the bottom with Spring Yard. I don't know. I find that one a little bit harder than this one. This one's just a average racetrack, really. If it didn't have that slanted part right here, it would legit be just a NASCAR track going in a circle. Turning left the whole time. Or turning right, in this case. Yeah, this game's, like, once I figured out that the drifting mechanic worked, this game was really... I just smoked this game, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not worried about this game no more. Because, like, literally, I'll tell you what, my practice file, I was having such a hard time trying to get through the green GP Cup. And that's probably, like, strange to say, but I didn't know how to drift. I didn't know how to drift properly, and that was killing me. Knowing how to drift properly really helps you. I mean, it's in the name of the game. You gotta learn how to drift properly. So, yeah, like, holding the brake button around corners while you're holding the accelerate button really helps you learn how to get around this stuff really quickly. Look how fast Amy's going. Like, this is crazy. I forgot how crazy fast I was going in some of these segments here. I was like, dude, I wasn't doing this earlier when I was practicing. But yeah, I'm so glad I figured out how to drift properly. That's really it. Once I knew that and I unlocked that skill, I was like, yeah, I'm a master at this game now. Granted, this is like a early 90s racing game on a handheld that isn't Mario Kart. But yeah. Okay, so the next one is Starlight. Yeah. Starlight's Zone on Red. I really like this one. Mainly because it has a lot of zigzags in it. I say zigzags, but like, it's like almost a trapezoid shaped track. I like how like you have to like go in certain angles. Like isosceles, it almost makes an isosceles triangle in certain parts of the track here. I don't know, just the aesthetic of the track really gets me sometimes. I really like it. And then again, I think Starlight Zone's my favorite zone in general in Sonic 1, so it makes sense that I like this track. I didn't really mention about the music too. The music's pretty, you know, for a racing game, you don't get to listen but like a minute. A minute worth of OST. It's pretty good. I can't really say they're bangers because I don't get to listen to the OST for very long when I'm on these tracks, but they're pretty good. Starlight especially. I like Starlight's music. Man, I placed like 2 or 3 hearts down on the finish line here. Yeah, you don't get really to listen to the OST very much because you're not in the race for very long. Almost a minute to a minute and a half tops, really. Alright, we're on our last track of the game. The Red GP. This is Scrap Brain on Red GP. Chaos GP. I just kept saying GP. It's a Grand Prix. But yeah, this one has a lot of twisty turns on it that you have to drift around. So, yeah, just be mindful. I really take a quick look at your map when you're going around corners to see what's coming up next. Because sure, they do give you signs on the roads, but some of them just flat out don't give you any signs to do whenever you're drifting, like this one. So you kind of really just want to be paying attention to your map. Your map really helps you. Unless you get invincibility, then you can just bomb rush this. Honestly, invincibility is so broken in this game, man. It lasts way too long compared to how long these races last. Like, it'll last like for a good 15 seconds. I'm like, dude, I'm over in a minute. Holy crap, I just like did a whole lap. Or maybe 10 seconds. I don't know how long it is, but it's like, it feels like 10 seconds, almost 15 seconds. I hit these springs. Honestly, the springs are really good because if you're going around a corner with the springs, you don't have to drift. That helps. But there we go. We beat Red Chaos GP with Amy this time. And once you beat the Red GP, the Red Chaos GP, you get a special character ending. So we're playing as Amy. We're going to get Amy's character ending here. And it's just like three screens, and then it hits congratulations. Like, honestly, you misspelled this word. Honestly, it bothers me. Like, it's not even correct English. It says congratulations. It should be congratulations. I don't even know that's how you spell it. And you get a quick, like, you know, credits, which is like 20 seconds, because there are not many people who worked on this game. Or, wahahaha, I don't know who that is. I'm trying to double check my spell check here. Yeah, congratulations. It should just be congratulations. It had an S at the end there. So I'm showing all 4 of the character endings because I didn't really want to show me going through all 4 characters on the Red GP. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you the slack and just show you every single character's like quick ending. So this is Sonic's. We didn't get to see Sonic, so pretty much standard. He drives the car, gives a thumbs up, looks at the camera, smiles. That's pretty much it. Other than that, I think this game is kind of a fun little, like, itty-bitty game to, you know, play on a quick break. This game is really fun. Once I figured out how to drift properly, this game became infinitely much more fun to play than than I originally had, because when I originally played this, I didn't really care for it too much. Alright, now we're showing Tails' special ending. He gets out of his car. He sees Sonic. He jumps up in the air. It's like, yeah, thumbs up, I did it. I don't know why Eggman's there. It's like, you're the, you hate these characters. Why are you here enjoying a race with them? I guess Bowser does the same thing with Mario, so. Man, it really does bother me that that's not correct English. Congratulations. Congratulations, man. But yeah, other than that, I think this game is really fun. It's a really cool, like fun little romp of a racing game. It doesn't, take a lot of skill to do. You just have to know how to drift. That's literally the moral of this whole video. Then finally, we're gonna get our last character's special ending here. I like this one. This Eggman's. He's like, ha 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 ha, I won. And he's, mocking Sonic. Sonic's mad. And Sonic goes chasing after Eggman. Eggman runs away. I like this one. This one's the best one. I like this one a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much that for Sonic Drift. They did make a sequel to this game. We're going to be looking at that in a couple episodes whenever it comes down the list, but Sonic Drift 2 did come out, and it's a lot bigger. I guess that's the best way I could put it. It is a lot bigger than the first game. I mean, granted, the first game only had 4 characters. I think it doubled its roster. I think it had like 8. So, right there, that's double the amount of game. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of an inoffensive game. I don't think like I said, I think this might be the first time this game's been available in the Americas. I could be wrong. I haven't played the Game Gear compilation on what's it called? Sega, the Sonic Master Collection or whatever it is on GameCube. I can't remember what it's called. Or the 100% Sonic Adventure reward. Anyways, this is free roam. This is the only other thing that we're going to be showing off here is free roam. It just lets you practice the stage. That's all it is. You can change your driver, you can change your course, and everything else in free run. It's really not, you could just do, it's just basically like a freebie. It allows you to practice the course and how to practice the game. So we're going to play as Eggman in his little egg carrier here. I love his vehicles, just the egg carrier. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Free run is nothing more than basically a glorified practice mode for these stages. If you're having trouble with certain courses, you can kind of practice them. And it has like time trials here, so it saves your best time and everything. So it's nice that at least the game has something like that besides just the cups. But yeah, that's pretty much that in a nutshell. You could play multiplayer in this. The Game Gear did have a link cable, kind of like the Game Boy did. So you could play multiplayer in this game. And the Origins collection has multiplayer in the system itself, but it's like its own separate game. Eggman going across the screen is funny. I always love that. And it just shows you your best times and everything. That's pretty much that. That's free run. It's really simple. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Sonic Drift. You can change the difficulty. I guess there was a difficulty select. I just forgot about that. Oh well. Anyways, that was Sonic Drift. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And with that, we'll go back to live commentary, Matthew. But yeah, guys, that was Sonic Drift for the Sega Game Gear. That was a really kind of a fun little easy kart racing game that this guy, I guess it really isn't a kart racing game, it's just a racing game in general. I had a lot of fun playing this game. Now, when I understood everything, when it clicked. I was happy about that. But anyways, in the next episode of Let's Play Sonic Origins Plus, we have a thing here for Sonic Drift 2P. This is the multiplayer thing that was kind of not highlighted in the actual version of the game. I'm going to be skipping any games that has 2P in it, because that's going to be a whole subject for possible other videos, so don't worry about it. This is just the multiplayer mode of it. Anyways, in the next episode of Let's Play Sonic Origins Plus, we are going to be jumping into a game from my childhood, not particularly this version, but the Genesis version. This is Sonic Spinball, the Game Gear version of it. So with that, I'll see you guys in the next episode.